This is Afshin Yazdani. I'm barrister solicitor in Ontario, Canada. I'm practicing business immigration law for many years. I handle many business class categories. In this video, I'm going to explain you what is startup visa business class. Startup visa is a program through the Canada immigration, and the target for the program is to attract and get some applicants who has a business plan and this business or business idea, and those business idea are innovative and then can create job for Canadians. Um, these are like a basic thing. It's like how a startup, who can apply for a startup. So if you have a business project and that project is a startup, this basically is what you have. You have something new, you have something nobody did it before, and then you're trying to get to the market. So that's the basic level what you need to have. After the situation is you need to apply. You need to apply for a designated organization from a designated organization, and they get their support. They call it letter of support or commitment certificate. So uh, if you have the business idea, or it's already have it's more than idea, it has a product or something, then you can go through this process. So what are the requirements? The requirement for this program is it's very simple. One, you must have a language benchmark, Canadian language benchmark, 5, which is around IELTS 5. And then you need to have a letter of support from one of these designated organizations. And what are those designated organizations? They are listed in IRCC or immigration website, and they are incubators, venture capitals, and angel investors. And all these three organizations added up around like more than 70 of them. You can approach and you can apply, and then you can get letter of support from them. Uh, if you have the letter of support and you have the IELTS, and then you should have also a minimum education. That's a minimum education. It's just 1 year after secondary school. It's like just a 1 year college or university program based on manual published by immigration office. And beside this, what else you need? It's like just settlement fund. Settlement fund. It's not that it's a sum is a proof of fund. You have enough to settle yourself and your family like for 6 months or 1 year after arriving in Canada as a permanent resident. So as I said, the criteria to meet is not very difficult. Most of the people, or many people, may be interested. So what's the issue here? Why no many people can apply? The main thing is, unfortunately, those designated organization in Canada uh, created some sort of income for themselves. So how? It's like they supposed to invest or they supposed to mentorship or doing that incubation for the startup project. But in fact, most of them, they don't do that. Most of them, they ask for professional fee, investment fee, administrative fee, and many other hidden fee. So um, that's one of the red flag you should avoid. So when you are approaching a startup visa program, one of the main thing is you should avoid is to prevent getting involved in this kind of business relationship, because it's against IRCC rule and it's against the policy. But unfortunately, immigration program, I mean immigration government of Canada, immigration ministry, they don't monitor that much these designated organization. Although they have uh, a policy, they have manual, and they have like inspection process, They can suspend license, they can revoke license of these designated organization. But the point is, sometimes works, sometimes doesn't work. I know personally, I know many of these organizations, they charge huge amount of fee to get an applicant, to issue an applicant letter of support. So that's the main issue. That is why there are not too many people that can apply, and they too many people can go through the startup visa program. And opposite, uh, if they have the money and if they can pay more, and then most probably they can get letter of support from them. So how, I mean, based on type of organization, some of them they are allowed and they are permitted to receive fund, to receive professional fee, such incubators. Incubators, they are fine. Incubators, they can charge a reasonable fee based on what they have, what approval and other things they have. So my point is, not all of them, they cannot charge fee. Yeah, some of them they can. Incubators, they can. Accelerators, they can. But angel investors shouldn't usually, or venture capital, same thing. So that's the major concern now. And that's a major concern for a startup visa program in Canada now. Just want to share you something about most recent judgment from Federal Court of Canada. As you know, when a work per when application, immigration application, either work permit or or permanent residency application, when they apply and then refused by the officer, they can go to the federal court in Canada. So we represent client to the Federal Court of Canada, under judicial review process. When you go on the judicial review process, basically what's going to happen is the judge, federal judge, can assess, see everything is proper based on reasonableness and based on procedural fairness. So two recent decisions, like 2025, uh, shows to like somehow making draw a roadmap for startup visa. Two major concern. One of the concern was, I'm just sharing with you, as there is a long process. The long process sometimes getting more than 40-50 months, which is supposed to win. For example, my own client, when we apply for a startup visa program, it was like 2020. Still, those files is under process. So it was a long process, like 2020 until today. It's as right now we are around September 2025. So the court said you cannot. The immigration officer must make a decision, and it says within 90 days has to make a decision from the judgment. So basically, what happened is unreasonable delay can be a ground for mandamus under judicial review process. So we have done this, and that's a process. How you can push the government, push the immigration office to make a decision. But don't forget that making decision is not just making approving a visa or approving application. That's different thing. They are pushing IRCC to make a decision based on the document, and that decision can be negative or can be positive. So again, mandamus for that file, the startup visa, I explained, it was just pushing the IRCC to make a decision. So that's one thing. So unreasonable delay cannot be happen. So it has to be fixed. And there is a federal court decision in 2025, and we can use it. I mean, you need to know about that. The second thing is there was another decision which was a very remarkable decision. That decision was about a commitment certificate. What happened? Um, the applicant at the time apply for startup visa program. They had a certificate, they had a letter of support and commitment certificate. And after they apply, couple months after, uh, due to issues they have with the angel investor who issued the letter of support, they lost it. Then they replace it with someone else, some other designated organization. So they got the second letter of support for that from the second designated organization. What happened was the court says no. The federal court of Canada says no, you cannot. Um, the commitment certificate has to stay for the entire process. So when you get the letter of support with commitment certificate at the end, at the beginning of the process, when you apply, its stay must be valid for until to the end. One of the thing is um, that letter of support or commitment certificate usually is valid for only 6 months, so you can apply. So for that part, it somehow it doesn't make sense to me, at least, because the requirement is to say 6 months, and then after 6 months it's automatically it's expired because they already used it and already applied. But again, federal court made a different decision. And another thing is, um, I have a distinguishable case, uh, one of my own case, and that case is different from this specific judgment what I just shared, and that's about the commitment certificate used to get a work permit, and the immigration officer, didn't refuse the application for like long period of time, like about like 2 3 years, and suddenly after giving a work permit, decided to refuse the PR application under the startup visa. So why is it different from the other one? There are many things. One, designated organization revoked the license, revoked the letter of support and commitment certificate, uh, and then immigration office subsequently denied the refused the application for PR right after. But this case, what I'm discussing is it's like 2 years is already in the road. So it's like, again, it's unreasonable for the processing. If you want to refuse it, you have to refuse it faster. You cannot keep it for 3 years and after 3 years saying, okay, no, I'm not refusing now. The second distinction is uh, already ORCC issue work permit based on that, and they didn't notice anything. So my point is, start up from these two judgments, two federal judgment. Uh, there are two things. One, on delay, unreasonable delay, it's an issue. You can go to the court and ask. The second thing is, if you have any issue with a designated organization in terms of hidden fees or anything, any dispute, the best course of action for you will be going to the court, not the immigration court, going to the civil court and ask for remedies, because that's the best way you can do. And then they can ask the court to uh, enforce the initial contract or enforce what they have to do. That's the best thing you can. That's the best approach you can have if you have any dispute and you have a letter of support, you have a commitment certificate, and now you are in dispute with designated organization because they are somehow unlawfully asking you for money or for anything like that. So that's the best course of action. So you should go to the court, civil court, make a claim against them, and then use that claim in immigration file saying, I already was a victim, and that's the situation. In this video, I try to explain you a startup visa program as I handle many of them. I would say around 200 clients I handle in past 5 6 years, and it's a unique program. This program is unique. A program is one of very interesting program. But there are some pitfall. You need to be careful, especially when you apply for commitment certificate, letter of support, when you're dealing with some kind of refusal, when you're dealing with a unreasonable delay and other thing. You need to know your right. I hope this video help you to understand the startup visa. If you have any question, you can call me or fill up our assessment form. I can call you back, and hopefully I can help.